Ladies and gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Abled with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands together if you are ready to get the show started. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Disabled is Abled. I'm your moderator. I'm here with Eli and Fredy.
Yo.
What's up, fellas? Another week filled with action.
Action-packed.
Action-packed.
And we got the, it's official, we got the finals, Miami Heat, Lakers, and the MLB playoffs is today.
MLB playoffs today. How's it been going? I'm always asking you about school and some of the things you're facing.
I took my organic chemistry test yesterday, Monday, and I took my microbiology test Friday. So I had back-to-back.
Back-to-back tests for Fredy. Let's clap that up.
So basically, that translates to no sleep.
That translates to no sleep.
You know?
For
Other
me,
than that, I'm alive. You know what I mean?
right.
No, absolutely.
I feel you. Always be grateful for that.
Can't
Always be
complain there.
But for me, I've been good. I beat Gemini Keys. 2 baseball games.
Clap that up.
Was it a fluke?
I don't know. Probably. I beat him the first game off a walk-off home run, and then I hit a grand slam the second game. So I'm very happy. I'm good now. I don't care how many games we do after this.
As long as you got some wins.
As long as I got some wins finally in baseball. So I'm happy about that.
Gemini Keys let us down. Let me down.
So let's get right to the NBA. Before we even talk about the finals, we have some news.
Yeah.
Head coach Doc Rivers was fired from the Clippers.
I called it.
I'm going to clap that one up.
Okay. A black man losing his job.
No. That's not why I'm clapping that one up. I just feel like it was time for him to go.
Okay, give me your reasoning.
He was there for 7 years? Mm-hmm. Let's see. 2014, he lost to OKC.
Okay.
After being up, I believe, 12 points with about 45 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, that was a weird game. That was weird.
Where they could have just won that game and then closed him out in Game 6. Mm-hmm. He blew a 25-point lead against Memphis and, I believe, lost that series.
Okay. He lost a 3-1 series to Houston.
He lost a 3-1 series to Houston, where he had Josh Smith score about 16 points off the bench. Mm-hmm. And never got over the hump with Golden State. Mm-hmm. And he's always good enough to get them in right positioning in the regular season, but never quite enough to get them over the hump.
What do you say, Fredy?
I agree with Eli. I called it last week. I felt like it was time. He's always associated with the flukes.
Got you.
Like whatever you don't think is gonna happen,
Always happen. Yeah.
Always happen.
Got you.
And I feel like his golden era was obviously the Celtics. But he could have won with Lob City, like everything.
Right.
You know, there wasn't like a big.
And don't get me wrong, too. There's also injuries a part of this game. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, obviously. Like,
but
Blake never really got injured like that. You know.
But I'm also saying there were certain series where y'all just got outplayed.
Yeah, exactly. You had to. Like, there was literally no way for you to lose, and you still end up losing.
Yeah, especially this year. You're in the bubble. Now, I understand the bubble is a strange situation, but you're up 3-1. And this is when what you paid Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for to close these teams.
And Lou.
And yes. And I feel like this team wasn't able to galvanize with him. Like, they weren't able to, like, how the Lakers were able to galvanize with Frank Vogel.
Right.
Yes.
And at the beginning of the year, people were saying, oh, no, it's a bad hire, but it's not looking like it was.
Yes,
because everybody respects him.
And LeBron, and you got to give LeBron credit for that because he took the team in. He understands team chemistry and how important it is to have a team on the same page. See, Kawhi, even with Toronto, he wasn't on the same page with them.
Right. No.
Because he showed up and then he had games off and he wasn't a part of that core Toronto team.
And luckily for Toronto, they went 17-5 without him.
Right, so they knew how to win games without him. He became like the closer.
Yeah, he was literally there to close it out.
Yeah.
And two, let's be honest, if he stays in Toronto for 1 year, just signs a 1-and-1 deal, where he can opt out after
they might be in the finals.
They might be in the finals
facing the Lakers.
Facing the Lakers, and you know.
I mean, with Toronto, I feel like since he was the closer. But on the court, he was able to mesh with them because
Yes.
it was a common goal. He
Right.
was just able to turn on that switch that they needed. But with this year, the Clippers,
And chemistry for your team is not always just on the court.
Right, it's
It's
off
off
the
the
court.
court.
Yeah.
court.
Do we go hang out together?
exactly.
Right.
Do we eat dinner together? And that's
Like-
never been Kawhi's
MO.
attitude.
And like I know for a fact, Doc didn't have to worry about Montrezl Harrell, Lou, and Patrick Beverly because their chemistry was good.
Right. Because they had already been there.
But
But
if you think about last year, when Kawhi and Paul went there, he was more successful, I want to say.
Oh,
Doc, because he took Golden State to Game 7
because that was
because
chemistry.
that was
Right.
chemistry.
When you brought two outsiders who were getting special privilege,
privileges,
it
yeah.
created dissension amongst the team.
Right.
Because
But-
Montel Harris and Montreal was like, yo, they need to come to practice. you know?
And the years that he did coach for Lob City, him and Paul started to have issues.
Right, because
because-
Paul is the point guard on the floor.
Right. And then you're giving more minutes to your son,
Yes.
who didn't deserve those role minutes.
that time.
At that time. Not saying that he doesn't now. And Paul was saying, look, when he had the meeting with the Clippers right before he went to Houston, he said, are you guys really trying to be Golden State? Because we haven't gotten over the hump at that point for like 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seemed like they really wasn't trying to meet his goals.
Yep. So, on the court,
Do you think he's going to go to another team? Like, where
Yeah,
would he
oh,
go?
Yeah, I think he
should take a year off.
possibly
I mean, because when you coach this long,
7 seasons.
we know
yeah.
you're not worried about a job.
Right.
And there'll be more jobs next year, unless he just sees the perfect position this year, like in Philly or somewhere.
Because Philly and Houston do need coaches, and
Right.
those are two good teams that you can.
I'm not sure about
Right.
Houston
I
so
don't
much.
think-
Or
Houston.
maybe the Pelicans.
Pelicans, because you got
I
Zion.
feel like he's good with young players.
Yep.
Like last year proved to me a lot that he was able to take a team that wasn't really on the spotlight. Like I feel like when he has a team that is high
Is expected,
expectations,
he fails.
he fails.
Right.
If the team is not expected to do good, it's like
He thrives.
a weight is off his shoulders, so he thrives.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I feel like maybe OKC because Billy Donovan left,
Mm-hmm.
but then Paul's there, so
yeah,
that wouldn't work.
No, that's not gonna work.
Or maybe the Pelicans. I feel like the Pelicans would be a good fit.
Yeah, that'd be a good fit. So he advanced by beating the Celtics in 6 games. We'll clap that up. We watched that game, and it was a close game until like the 4th quarter,
Yeah.
and then the shooting of Miami just
Well,
kicked in.
last time we checked in, we had Game 4 that Wednesday. They allowed Tyler Hero to go off.
Yeah.
When we thought it was really gonna be Jimmy Butler,
Yes.
right? Game 5, they pulled that one through. Even though in the final the fourth quarter, Miami made an 11-3 run
Yes.
to almost come back and win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And then in the closeout game, I was impressed.
right, and I was very impressed.
Bam
with that.
Adebayo is going to be a problem.
Yeah, 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. Also, 19 from Duncan, 17 from Iguodala, and about 15 from Tyler Hero.
So you spread the wealth.
Right. Fun fact about Duncan, he was about to become a sports analyst
Wow.
right before he went to
The D3 school?
the D3 school because he wasn't sure about his basketball career. He thought it was kind of over for him. And then a year
Interesting.
later, he's in the finals.
In the finals.
Right.
Goes to show you. It really goes to show you.
Yeah.
How that I remember John
yeah.
Starks before the Knicks put him on. He was packing bags somewhere in Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know, just working and trying to stay out of trouble.
I've
And
never really
Right.
seen a player from D3.
He's the
Like,
first.
to me, I think he's like the first. I've never seen that. 'cause
No, he's
typically,
the first.
If you're from D3, like you're just playing to play.
But sometimes,
But if you're from D2,
but you got to take into account the scouting system of the
Right.
Miami Heat. They probably said this guy will. If we put him in the right positions, he
Right.
can shoot the ball.
Right.
And as a
'cause
result,
there's some things you just can't teach. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I'm hoping the Lakers will exploit certain aspects of the rookiness.
Yeah.
Because now the heat is on.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Yeah. Also, Jimmy, you got to still show up in one of these games.
Yeah, you gotta drop 40, bro.
Because, granted, you had 22, but those are like the lightest 22 points of that closeout game.
Okay, before we get to that, let's give the Lakers a little credit. They
Yeah.
smashed the Nuggets in 5.
In 5, yep.
LeBron had 38,
16 in the fourth quarter.
and 10,
I like keep sharing.
which means he went to work.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that picture of LeBron just sitting on the court?
Yes.
Yeah, he still wasn't satisfied. He
Yeah,
was like,
no, because
He was like,
he was giving the young guys who never been here an opportunity to enjoy that moment.
Yeah.
But he has work to do.
right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he
I
knows.
love how they're taking the motto that Kobe did, where like job not done.
Yes.
So like they're embracing
Yeah.
that.
Yes, because this is truly in the spirit of Kobe, and to really resurrect Kobe's spirit, they got to get the win.
Right.
Of course, Miami has other
Yeah,
plans.
plans for that.
So let's just get right to it. Who do we have in this series and how many games?
Lakers in 6.
Lakers in
I'm
6.
giving Miami 2 games because I respect them a lot.
I have the Lakers in 7.
Do you think this is gonna go 7?
Yeah, I think it does. I think
Man, that's too close for comfort for me.
I feel it. Is that? I mean, but you low key have like Miami in your heart.
Yeah, don't judge me though. Don't judge me, because you know I love the South.
Like
you know
I know
love
you love
though.
Miami because it's in your heart.
I have the Lakers in 6, but I do respect the opponent. The opponent has demonstrated. You always should have a respectful fear for your opponent.
Right.
I do not when it comes to these series.
Okay.
You try to instill that with me. I just don't. I just like to. I guess I go too much off of the eye test, and I'm just like against LeBron. You
Nah, I
got,
just love underdogs. Like that's a big thing for me. Like underdogs.
yeah.
But because this is for Kobe,
Yeah.
you know, we rooting sentimentally.
Also, but what happens if they don't fulfill that goal?
Well, if they don't, then LeBron legacy takes a major hit. Again.
Because things do happen, guys. Like
They
you
do
know,
happen.
injuries-
Listen, not even
injuries
injuries.
has, you know,
If they
matchup
shoot,
problems.
if they shoot the lights out, you know, one of them years that they shoot the lights out, it could happen.
Because I did say I'm not gonna have high expectations, too high expectations, even though it's for Kobe, if they don't fulfill the goal.
Right. Absolutely.
Because now I'm just going off of emotion.
Like I feel like either
not-
way it goes, whoever wins is gonna honor Kobe. Like they're gonna.
But it's
dedicate-
no greater
but
honor
it's
than
no
the Lakers
greater
right.
honor than
Then
the
the Lakers, right?
in the year that he passes away.
Right.
Right.
So
But I'm just saying, you know.
yes.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
Before we move on, Dion Waiters, who regardless of who wins, he's still gonna end up with a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take it if I was him, and let's say the Heat wins because he's eligible. I wouldn't take that.
So is that a rule that if I play for both teams in the
no,
same?
it's not both teams. He started the year.
No, because I'm saying Verda went through the same thing. We always crucified him. So that's what I'm saying. Are we always going to crucify a player for not?
No,
For
I'm
taking-
saying it's a ring you didn't earn. Varejao situation. To me, I'm not taking a ring I didn't earn.
Yeah, no.
If I wasn't on the court or at least on the team,
Right.
I'm not
Okay,
taking a
but here's the
championship.
thing. He was.
Yeah,
technically on
at the
team.
beginning of the season.
And the way he like laughed, it was kind of salty.
Yes, I wouldn't.
So
So
I
I know,
wouldn't-
but he may get some minutes in this series.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
You
All
know?
right,
Let's talk baseball. Wild card matchups are here.
Yep.
And what do we have so far?
Right now the Sox are beating the Oakland A's, I think 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
A shutout game for their pitcher right now.
Do we have all the matchups?
Yeah, but maybe you took a screenshot of it in your phone.
I think I did take a
I know it's
screenshot.
Cleveland versus Yankees.
It is the White
Toronto-
Sox versus the Oakland A's.
Toronto versus
Oh, here we go.
Tampa.
Yes, Tampa and Toronto.
Right.
Cleveland and the Yankees. Minnesota and Houston. That's going to be a doozy.
Minnesota's winning right now.
And you have the A's and Sox, and I believe the Sox are up.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the NL, we have the LA Dodgers and the Brewers.
That
gonna
should be a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, we have San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
I always like to see
I got-
St. Louis
yeah.
in this
Yeah,
series.
yeah, they're always competitive. That's why I like them.
Right. You got the Cubs against the Mariners?
Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Miami Marlins.
Marlins make it,
They made
okay.
it.
And you have the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds.
Wouldn't that be crazy if the Miami Marlins and the Dodgers make it to like the
Could
final
happen.
round?
Could happen.
Not the
So
World Series, but
who
yeah.
are our dark horses? Who do we think has a great chance?
I think
because
the
I
Cubs.
like the excitement now.
I think the Cubs for me and the NL, because I always like the Cubs, and the White Sox. When that'd be a Chicago series.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fire.
Oh, Chicago series.
Yeah. And
For me, it has to be the Cincinnati Reds because like they went big in the offseason. And they signed a lot of people, so they have some sort of expectations because they signed a few people. But they're still like that dark horse that nobody really like takes serious.
Right, not yet.
Miami, I want to say I will give them a game or two. Just because like they've been playing unexpectedly good, and you just never know.
Right.
And you like the underdogs.
Oh yeah, and I like the underdogs. Can't forget about the Yankees.
Got to keep the Yankees
Yeah,
in the mix.
well, yeah, those are like home based teams.
Yeah.
You know.
But this year, I would say Tampa has an advantage to go farther than they did last year.
Right.
Okay.
Simply because they're not facing Houston.
Right.
And even then, they took Houston to games 7.
7, right.
And I'm going to say the Yankees have a lot of pressure on them this year because all the other New York teams right now are suffering. The Jets, the Giants,
The Mets.
you know, all these teams are suffering.
Nets won't really be good until next year.
So for New York fans, all
And
we
don't
have
even know
is the
about
Yankees.
that. We're just assuming they're going to be good.
Right.
Right.
So,
Who's your dark horse team?
who's your dog?
My dark horse team is always going to be, I like the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I like them a lot.
And then the
and
NL?
in the NL, I like the Dodgers. They're not a dark horse. I just think they should get over the hump finally
and
Yeah,
win a
and
championship.
finally
Gotcha.
win one. You know what I
Because this
mean?
is like their 5th, I believe this is their 4th or 5th season where they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And they haven't
And
won.
they got-
But I always like to see the Cardinals. It's something about the way they play the
Yeah.
game
Right.
in the
It's,
postseason.
it's like very old school.
Yes,
the way they play.
yes, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we're getting hits, moving the runners.
Moving the runners over,
Right.
you know.
They're
So
stealing
I,
bases.
yeah, I like that
San
kind of.
Francisco Giants used to give me that vibe too.
Yes, especially with their pitching.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna
Surprised the
keep an
Giants
eye.
didn't make it.
Yeah, no, the Giants did make
They
it.
did?
Yeah, they did. Hold on. No, they made it. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
they didn't.
Because they were hot all year long.
Yeah, they didn't make it. Boo.
Next.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled.
NFL,
Podcast.
an exciting weekend. We had the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in a thriller, Eli.
Yeah, I believe when I checked the score, it was 15-30. Cowboys were down by 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I checked again, the Cowboys were only down by 2.
Yes.
They kicked the field goal, took a 1-point lead, was 31-30. But then they gave too much time left on the clock.
4 minutes and
4
change.
minutes and change. I said, okay, look, Russell's gonna score this touchdown.
It's gonna depend on how much time is left after.
Right.
Yeah.
Scores it. It's 38-31. Also, side note, DK Metcalf dropped the ball on who was the player that you mentioned last week who used to do that against the Bills and the ball got knocked out.
I forget his name. Leon Lett.
Yeah, it was similar to that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It went in the backfield. So then Russell throws it to him again. He catches it this time for a game-winning touchdown. And with a minute left, Cowboys had the ball, and I just feel like the Cowboys were playing prevent offense. I'm not talking about
They
defense.
wasn't playing to win.
They wasn't really playing to win.
And then he get intercepted in the end zone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the final moment when you've been trying to get into the end zone because you're down by 7 at this point.
But I believe they made a big deal about that because he didn't get the job done. But he was scrambling. The Cowboys are not very good.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think we should start listening to what Russell Wilson has to get more credit
Yeah.
Oh, right,
for
yeah.
how well he plays.
Yeah, because
He's been throwing bombs.
also too,
bombs.
Seattle as a team, they have a lot of potholes.
Weapons.
Yes.
They have a lot of weapons, but don't get me wrong, but they have a lot of potholes that they shouldn't be this good, but because of how well Russell is as a talent,
He's overshadowing how bad
Right.
they could be.
Yeah,
So-
we had so that was a good game, and we had the Bills beat the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams almost came back in this game.
so the Bills is up big and they almost choked. But Josh Allen has been playing really well. He's been throwing in his last 6 to 7 games. He's had 23 touchdowns and only 3 picks.
And he's starting to really fill into that position. The
Right.
Bills are 3-0. Yes.
And they're 3-0, and their defense is ferocious.
Yes.
They have
Yes.
that
So
old school
kind of, smash mouth defense. So let's look for them. I guess it's gonna be a 2-team race.
It's definitely gonna be a 2-team race because my Patriots are keeping themselves afloat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
then they blow out
the Raiders. We're gonna
They
talk
blow out
about
the
that
Raiders,
next.
yeah.
Yeah. So the Patriots go and spank the Raiders after Raiders had a really good win the week
Right.
before.
But to the Raiders' credit, it was an overseas
Oh no, cross country.
cross country.
Yeah. Whenever
flight.
the West Coast teams have to travel east,
and it's a 1:00 game.
yeah, there's always a
So
time
I will
issue
give them the credit for that.
with jet lag and things of that nature.
But my defense showed up, gave a lot of pressure to Derek Carr, who I think Gruden is going to give him. This is going to be his last year as his quarterback. I think Gruden wants a new quarterback.
Yes, I think so as well. I'm surprised he didn't pull the trigger this year.
Right.
right.
On a
It's
new
probably
quarterback.
because of the draft class. It was more
And what-
wide receiver heavy.
Right.
So
Okay.
he loaded up on the wide
Because
receiver.
Gruden he's been watching those draft classes for like two
For
decades
years,
now.
for years. So he knows.
So he knows
He
when.
knows who's ready. Like, he knows.
He knows
Like,
what he
he
wants.
was on Russell way before everybody else.
Right.
Right. So
Been impressed with Cam Newton.
the Packers beat the Saints in a classic
Yeah.
with Rodgers against Breeze,
Yeah.
and they hadn't faced each other in a long time. Yes.
Yes, since 2014.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Damn.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game, and then it really boils down to who has the ball last in
Alvin
these kind of
Kamara, did you
series.
see that play? Alvin?
Yeah,
That was
side, the side throw. That was sort of like what you used to do with the Madden with screens, throwing me screens and then just going mad 75 yards. But yeah, it was.
I used to
I was
love
just very
doing that too.
impressive, very impressive with the footwork and how he drove. Because I'm still worried about him just because of he signed a 5-year contract and now I'm thinking.
Who's that?
Kamara.
Okay.
They gave him. Remember they were thinking about trading him, and then at the last second, they gave him a contract extension. But I'm thinking, are you still gonna play as talented as you are
Once you get the money.
once you get the money?
Yeah, you have a lot of guys. Once they get the money, they kind of relax.
Also, this is Drew Brees' last year to me. I don't know what it is. He doesn't have that
Spunk.
that he used
And
to.
he ain't got that cannon. Yeah.
Right.
And Father Time, we talk about
And
it
once
all the
again,
time, man.
I said that it didn't exist. I mean, for him it might, because on the
No,
other end,
it exists for everybody.
well, on the other end, Tom Brady has been doing his job.
Well, Tom Brady hasn't been pressed yet. I'm going to tell you like I told you last year. When we get to 9, 10, and 11 games into the season,
Yeah.
and then we'll
And
see.
the opponents get tougher, yeah.
Right.
The opponents get tougher, and then we will see.
Are you taking the Packers seriously this year?
I never take them serious enough to think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I always think Aaron Rodgers, as long as you have Aaron Rodgers,
You can get there.
you have a
Right,
chance to win a game,
Right.
Yeah.
maybe two. Until they shore up, and remember, they're one of them teams who don't spend money on free agency.
Right.
The city owns the team.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
that got
could
to
own
change.
stock in that team
Right.
if you lived there.
Right, and that got to change to me. You need a.
But it's,
But
it's
here's
the
the thing, I can't-
economics.
It is cool, but it's the economics, and I can't trust you like a bunch of fans to run a team.
Well, they still have a governing board. You know what I'm
But
saying? that
I'm just
handles-
talking
but,
about like you need a Al Davis who used to.
But the city, the economics of that city won't allow that.
Yeah.
You know, so they're a small
Sure, I'm
town
surprised they gave.
who just have
They paid Rodgers because it's like how.
you got to pay the
You gotta-
quarterback.
Right, that's what I was about to say. But,
Everybody else, they pretty much draft.
we'll see.
And you know, so but the game of the week happens to be the Chiefs and the Ravens
Yeah.
for obvious
Last
reasons.
night.
Bro.
Lamar Jackson versus
Their defense.
now. Are you gonna say it's over between these two teams? Like Patrick Mahomes is that much better, or are we gonna sum it up to just a bad game?
Freddie, go first.
I'm gonna say he's the best right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's over.
You think it's over? Okay,
I-
good.
I think it's
okay.
over.
In terms of the competition,
In terms of the competition,
Okay.
because like Patrick is one of those that you take stuff and like he uses it as fuel. So when ESPN dropped that list and he was number 4,
Yeah, that was
he
crazy.
was like, "I'm number 4. I bet I'm gonna prove to y'all why I'm not number 4."
sort of like with LeBron finding out he
Right.
only had 16 votes out of
Yeah.
85. Okay,
Exactly.
right.
And so like last night that was coming up and people were making memes about it and stuff like that. How they were he was ranked number 4, but then he's spanking who's number 1.
Right.
Easily.
So it's
Even
just
though
like-
they're not going against each other
Yeah,
per
yeah,
se,
yeah.
but it's my team versus your team. Me picking apart your defense.
Right.
He only had 97 yards.
Yes.
And you gotta
Jeez.
understand
And-
too, the weapons that Patrick has
Oh,
are
this
like
Hill, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill was like an anomaly. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is like another anomaly.
Right.
Like
Yes.
they're gonna go
That's a
hard.
big
And
Tight
their
end.
rookie running back has been killing them.
Right, and because he played with LSU.
Yeah.
They stole him in the draft. And
Lil
Lamar's
Wayne.
weapons.
Also, Lil Wayne has a wide receiver. I forgot his name, but he signed under Lil Wayne's sports management.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Yeah.
Also, because here's the thing: when I'm looking at, first of all, I'm watching the whole game. They only made it close that first half because of a kick return. Because at first, it was,
I remember.
It
Yes.
was 3-17, I believe,
And they got the kick return.
a kick return that made it 10-17.
Right.
Besides that, they
No
didn't score
contest.
a single touchdown except for a couple field goals.
No contest.
No contest. And total yards, you allow 500 yards.
That's a lot of yards.
200 yards on the floor, 300 yards
You're
in the
not
air.
going to win any ball games. That means I took advantage of your run game and your passing
He
game.
picked that secondary apart.
Mm.
And don't get me wrong, Lamar is faster, and I said this last year when we were supposed to see these two matchup against the AFC Championship game.
Yes.
Lamar is fast in terms of speed, but he, to me, overruns.
Got you.
He
Where-
uses that's his primary.
That's his primary.
But Patrick, that's like his secondary.
Right.
Right.
He only runs to mess with the defense, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes did this. It was like a soft.
It's a baseball. It's a baseball throw. You know what I mean? That's
It was
like a
a-
slider.
He just flicked
That's
it.
like a slider or like a
And
curveball.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
But the fact that he used to play
He used
baseball,
to be a baseball player.
it
That's what I'm
works.
saying.
He's using that to his advantage. Side note: I'm taking Patrick Mahomes as MVP, even though I do want Russell to get a couple more votes. Like the fact that he
Nah,
has.
I just wanted to give him. I want him to get it. Like, I
Russell.
just want him to get it.
Yeah.
Cause like he's the
You know,
weapons
he's never
that
won any
working,
votes.
He's never won no votes.
Right.
I said that.
That's
last week.
crazy.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Not even when he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Or almost did.
But no, this competition's over. There's a big gap between Patrick Mahomes.
But I think it's
and
also
Lamar
too. We
Jackson.
got to take into account the system that they're in. Like
Very
Patrick's
true.
system is more pass friendly.
Right.
Because of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Right,
Lamar's system is more like pass when they're open
Option.
and options.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
the styles are different.
But here's the thing: if they face off against each other in the big money games, it's still no match for. Patrick
So let's
Mahomes.
get these Week 4 predictions in
Okay.
in the NFL. Not that we're keeping track, but we're giving you our
Picks and whatnot.
picks. You might want to play these picks.
Okay, first game: Broncos versus Jets. Thursday night.
Broncos.
Okay.
The Jets
Have the Jets won a
stink.
game?
No.
They might go undefeated.
Winless. Yeah.
Winless.
Yeah.
Not undefeated.
Winless.
Chargers Bucks.
That's a good one.
I'm taking Tom because Justin Herbert is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, that's the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not taking
the
the rookie.
Bucks. I'll take the Bucks.
I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Ravens Washington.
I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Yeah.
Ravens
Just
gonna make a
'cause
comeback. That's a
they're
good.
gonna make-
That's a good comeback game
Right.
after a loss.
Right.
Yeah.
Steelers Titans. Taking the Titans. They're 3-0.
Steelers are
Yeah,
also
it's
3-0.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry
How's
had
he doing, by the way?
doing well. Well, he did 162 yards, 2 touchdowns last week.
I'll take the Steelers in that game.
You taking the Steelers? I'm
They're
taking the
3-0.
Titans.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Titans.
I'll take the veteran squad.
Yeah, I'm taking Titans.
Titans too. All right. Seahawks Dolphins. Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks have to travel across to the Dolphins. Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah. Vikings Texans. They're both winless.
Give me the home team. I'll take the Texans.
I'll take the Texans too.
I'll take the Vikings.
Take the Vikings in that one.
Yeah, because Cook had a good game.
Saints. Saints Lions.
I'm gonna take the Saints. It's a good comeback.
Yeah, they need a
Lions won a big game against the Cardinals. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
gamble
yeah.
and take the Lions.
I
with
was
this one.
shocked with that one.
I'll take Drew Brees and the Saints.
I'm gonna take the Lions. Browns Cowboys.
That's gonna be a good game. Browns are on a 2-game winning streak. Cowboys have to win.
Yeah, if they want to stay
Yeah,
alive.
yeah. 8 wins to win that division. I'll take the Cowboys.
I'm gonna take the Browns.
I'm gonna take the Browns too. Jaguars Bengals.
Give me the Bengals. I think they get on the win column.
Yeah, Bengals too.
Yeah, I feel like Joe gotta get at least.
Yeah, they get a win or 2.
You know what I mean?
Colts Bears.
Foles is now in the quarterback spot for the
For
Bears. Give me the Bears.
I like how the Colts played last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Colts had a
I think I'm
blowout.
gonna take Phillip Rivers in this.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna take the Colts.
I'll take the Bears.
Cardinals, Panthers.
Oh, that's a good.
Give me the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah, that's probably a good comeback win.
Giants, Rams.
Yeah, Rams. Yeah, don't even waste no time there.
Patriots.
Oh, that's gonna
Chiefs.
be a doozy.
I think this is the America's game of the week.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna take
I'm gonna take the
Cam.
I'm
Chiefs
gonna take the Chiefs just cause.
in a shootout.
Yeah, in a shootout. Mahomes
What's the
is
score?
37-30. Chiefs.
I'm gonna go 40-30. Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to go 38-30. I think we win by Bills, Raiders. They both. Well, no. Bills are doing good, but the Raiders do need to win.
And the Bills are coming across country to the Raiders town. I say the Raiders
Yeah, I
get
might
the
take the
win.
Raiders for this
I
one.
take the Raiders in that one.
Just cause of that.
I think I'm going to need the Raiders to win anyway. Eagles, 49ers.
Both of these
49ers.
teams are beat up. 49ers. 49ers.
I'm gonna take the Eagles. Just cause they need to win.
Okay.
Right. Vikings, Packers. I'm sorry, Falcons, Packers.
I'll take the Packers.
Oh, I'll take the Packers.
The
They're too high
Falcons
right now.
stink.
Yeah, Packers.
They lost another game that they
Yeah.
should have won.
Yeah.
They stink.
I'm going to take the Packers. Aaron Rodgers.
And there you have it.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
So, Freddie, our soccer extraordinaire, you had some information.
Yes, I do. According to my Instagram sources, very reliable, there has been some beef in Barcelona the past week. And it's mainly because of the departure of Luis Suarez, former attacking forward for Barcelona. He's top 3 scorer in Barcelona all time.
Okay.
This is including Messi, Ronaldinho, all those people. He's top 3 since he got there in 2014. And so, quote by Messi, he did an Instagram post and he dedicated to one of his best friends.
Right.
And he said, and I quote, "You deserve to depart like what you are, one of the most important players in the club's history. Not for them to kick you out like they have done, but the truth is, nothing surprises me anymore." End quote. Messi is gonna leave, people, and it's gonna hurt y'all. Mark my word, he's gonna leave, and everybody gonna be tight.
But didn't he say he wasn't going to leave?
He only left because of financial reasons. He only stayed because of financial reasons.
Right, he only stayed
but he only
because
has
of
one more year.
Oh,
He's
okay,
a-
yeah.
He's a free agent after this.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And so, basically, at first, Luis Suarez was going to go join Cristiano Ronaldo's team. That deal fell through because he failed the Italian, because, they play in Italian.
Right.
They play in Italy. He failed the Italian language test, whatever. That deal fell through. Then he was reported.
He got to speak Italian?
Yeah, you have to pass, depending on what country you go to, you have to pass their language test, because if not, you can't communicate with players.
Okay, that's
yeah,
smart.
yeah,
That's smart.
that's
Yeah,
right.
and you have to get citizenship too.
Gotcha.
That's right.
So he didn't have that and he failed.
That's smart.
So that deal fell through, and Barcelona didn't want to sell to Cristiano Ronaldo's team. Then it was reported that he was going to stay but play off the bench. He was like, okay, I don't really care. As long as I still get my minutes, I'm fine.
Right.
He's already getting up there in age. He doesn't expect to be a starter anymore because he's 33.
Right.
Then after that, he got frustrated that he wasn't playing, and he spoke up. He was like, if you guys don't do anything, I'm going to speak out. So he decided to go to the rival team, which is Atletico Madrid. Is one of the Spanish teams that play in the same league as Barcelona. He went to that team, but he basically went for free. Free in terms of they only paid him €1 million.
An extreme pay cut, yeah.
An extreme pay cut that they only had to pay Barcelona, and then they just take care of the salary. It's basically like a salary dump, you know what I mean?
Right.
So on his debut last week, Luis Suarez scored 2 goals and gave 1 assist while coming off the bench. So he didn't even start.
Clap that up.
So yeah, Barcelona, y'all just look really bad. And I hate to say it because I'm not a Messi fan, but I give respect to the man.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's one of the legends.
Yeah, it's the same
And
thing
so
right, yeah.
They need to treat him. better.
You're
Exactly.
listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
So in culture, the Tory Lanez album, guys,
Yeah, it dropped on Friday.
Daystar,
Daystar.
Daystar.
his name.
I don't know how to approach this situation
Okay.
because
I'm just asking you how the album was.
Music-wise, sound. Just by sound, it sounds like a Tory Lanez album, and it's good musically. Like it's good sounding music.
it's his version of a 444, like the Jay-Z version. No, because
As in, like, explaining allegations?
yeah,
Okay, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
In terms of like addressing the
Addressing
elephant,
allegations.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
addressing the elephant in the room.
In my generation, that would be Usher Confessions.
Right.
Like, these are my confessions.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
very good sonically, all the way through, and he's just pouring his heart out
Right.
to a girl that he loves.
My issue with the album is he's very contradictory. Like he'll say one thing coming at her, right, and saying, "Oh, I didn't do it," blah blah blah, and then the next song is like, "Oh my god, but I loved you," and then the next song is like, "But like, I'm coming at you again," and then he would come at like other people who were
Yeah.
like coming at him.
Okay, that song. Hold on. Well, keep talking.
Well,
Keep
when you're
talking.
in a state of an emotion,
Right, you're just pouring it out.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? I feel like most of these songs that he just recorded it to like get it off his chest. I don't think he actually planned to get it out.
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
he decided like, okay, this is probably the, you know. And a lot of people were saying that it wasn't the right timing because of the Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, it was-
I disagree with all of that.
It was track number 4.
For that matter, because somebody's always dying in New York City.
Right.
Somebody's always being shot. You would never put no music out.
not
Wait,
to
wait,
not to downgrade her case.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But you know, but
Sorry.
like
Hold on, real quick. Can y'all repeat? What you talking about
well,
the case?
well,
no,
because of the Brianna,
Breonna Taylor.
Right,
the
right,
case,
right,
his
okay,
album
right,
came
right,
out
yeah.
that week, and people trying to make the connection.
Okay.
And like it's importation.
I'm about
I
to-
disagree.
But then there's one song that he says on the album where it's dedicated to just black women.
Right.
Right.
So
right.
it's just like, you know, he's up to the time.
Yes.
also-
yes.
Are we gonna forget that Jay-Z dropped an album on 9/11 day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on the day that 9/11
Oh,
happened
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
Right.
A
Blueprint.
lot of music
And
dropped that day, and people still went about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do look? I understand that situation, but let's not act like artists
This
haven't
hasn't
done
happened.
it
Right.
happened
Right.
before.
And like a lot of people saying, "Oh, why did you do an album? You're profiting." Realistically, in streaming world, for you to profit a lot of money, people need to listen to it a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times. And I think off the rip, people were gonna listen to it to see what he had to say. But because of the contradictory of like one song he'll bash her, the other song he'll
Well,
bash
I didn't think he even bashed her. I just
I don't think
No,
he bashed her
I
either.
think he just spoke his truth. Like
Right.
Right.
And
Whatever
some of the words that he would say, like some of the lines that he would say, like, oh, like I was with this other girl type of thing.
Yeah,
It
that
was
that's
weird.
a little harsh.
But you know, like
oh wait, wasn't he talking about Kylie with that?
He was.
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So
He was coming at everybody though. But musically, I do like.
No, musically, this is the best hip hop album of 2020.
Yeah.
I don't call it album of the year because I already have that solidified for me with another album, but beside the
okay,
point.
okay.
To me, it's still Russ.
So let's talk Chad Bozeman.
Oh right. I believe over the weekend, Disneyland released a mural
In his behalf.
in his behalf.
Oh wow.
Let's clap that up. So he lives on.
Yeah.
And also, what people don't know is in the movie 21 Bridges, the female actor, when he found out how much she was getting paid for the movie, he gave some of his salary
To her.
so that she would be paid accordingly. A lot of people didn't know that.
Wow.
So Chad Bozeman is who he was, and we want to keep his memory alive.
Yeah.
In
He's a
that
living
sense.
testament to what we're doing here, people. Disabled is able.
Yes.
He was a superhero off the film and on it.
Speaking of disabled, Fredy, you had a article you wanted to speak on in reference to cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy. In my internship, we had this assignment we had to do to solidify the work that we've been doing.
Right.
So this was the first article that we had to read, and it was about Aquatic treatment on kids with CP. And so basically the article was breaking down, there was an experiment done with kids between the age of 9 and 14. A few of them were treated in the water, some of them were treated on land, and then there was another group that was like the control, which was like they didn't do anything.
Nothing, yeah, that's the control.
A few of them dropped out because of, treatment issues. But the study basically showed that aquatic therapy is a big tool into improving our mobility and our function. Because when we're in water, it eliminates it eliminates the factor of gravity, and so we're able to move in ways that we're not able to do on land.
Right.
And so that gives us the ability to adapt to that environment if we're doing it consistently, and it also gives us the ability to do certain movements we aren't able to do on land.
Right. Side note, that was sort of like when we went up to Helen Hayes.
Right. And we had the air.
Yeah, our anti-gravity machine, which mimicked water, which gave Eli the ability to move freely. Great point.
Right. So because of that, it also increases independability. So like the trainer wasn't as heavy intense because they were putting that in the results as well. The ability to adapt and become more independent within the water once you get a few techniques down. So the treatment was done for 6 weeks straight, consistently, 2 times a week, 50 minutes with a trainer, right? And then they would also break up that time. It wasn't just full therapy. It was like breaks up into sessions, and like some of the time was due, for fun and stuff, just to keep the kids entertained. And then after the 6 weeks was over, they had a break period. So in the break period, there was another 6 weeks where it was on land, and they basically called that the free period. So it was like they compared the results of the treatment on water to on land, and they saw a significantly decrease in the functionality of kids with CP on land. Most of that had to do, they did take into account, that had to do with the patient's parents' inability to be consistent with them at home.
Yes.
And it also had to do with, because they're not constantly going to get this treatment, they don't have to do it on the land.
Right.
So I thought it was really interesting. Ways to increase or like make the study better. They suggested to obviously get more kids to do it. Get more trainers and stuff like that. But I personally think the treatment itself, it should be gradual. So as in like, they should do similar treatments that they do on water and try to emulate that on the land.
On the land, right.
See, I think that's where the drop-off happens.
Because like we were saying, in water, it's no gravity, so we can move a lot freer.
And like a lot of times that independency, we're not used to those movements.
Right.
So how can we adapt those movements on land?
Right.
The article wasn't, they didn't really expand on that reason.
You're right, going into depth on that.
The only thing they said was there was a lack of consistency on land.
Right.
So if you, for example, let's say if you're doing the strokes, you can emulate that movement on land by like doing strokes on land sort of thing. And if you mimic that movement, maybe it would keep it consistent or maybe not. So we just don't know. So
very, very interesting
very
report.
interesting. And while I was reading it, like I peeked at it when my professor sent it to me, but I didn't really see the title. So when I actually sat down and read it, I was like, oh my God, CP, that's me.
Right.
And so I was reading because the article explains what the disability is. And while I was reading the introduction, it was saying all of these side effects.
Yeah.
And every time it said something, I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh, that's Eli. So I kept making the connections, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. So I had to call Eli right away and let him know what was happening.
Yep.
So yeah.
So yeah, great story, man.
Yeah, that's a great story. Let's clap that up. in hopes that they will continue the progression
Right. And
Yeah.
the research.
and the research so that we
Research.
can find something, a solution
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
this.
And a lot of times, like, aquatic therapy is awesome, it's great because I've done it, but a lot of these kids don't have the resources
Absolutely.
to do it. They don't know where to
Because
go.
even when Eli was doing the aquatic therapy on land, in the simulator, that's a very expensive
Right, and it's
machine,
expensive to maintain.
and it's expensive to maintain. So
So-
we have to find more viable ways
Right.
to provide those services.
Yep.
Great report, fellas.
Yeah.
Where can we be?
We can be
reached?
reached on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm sorry. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
That's what we're here. We're
That's-
on YouTube.
That's where,
Yes.
that's where at Disabled Podcast. Follow me on all social media platforms, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. We are out. We love y'all.
We are out of here. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Able with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands